All right, update plus it'll be the last video on this car for a little while. So the reason is I'm going to put this one to the side and I'm going to bring the yellow one into the shed and start doing some bits and pieces of the yellow one. So I've sort of done all I want to do on this one at this stage. So it's all good. So roadworthy wise, it'll pass, no dramas. There's nothing in this car that'll stop it being fail roadworthy. I've gone right through it underneath. Brakes are all done. They work really good. I've done a little bit of back and forward driving. So yeah, engine wise it's good. All the lights are good. Everything's fixed. Everything's back together. As you can see, she's come up really good. Obviously the paint, but that aside. So yeah, so car wise it's good. Running really nice. Engine's good. It's all above board and all that, of course. So yeah, that's the car. So just to run through the jobs I've done. So obviously the doors are back on, everything's back together. It's a full complete car now. So it's actually fully complete. You will see if you're really good eyes, you can see there's two different types of wheels on it. So they're the original XH2 wheels on there. Just purely they've got a few more circles in them, plus they're the 15s. And they're I believe the XH1 and XG style wheel, which are 14s. So I was lucky enough, I've got the center caps, I'm lucky enough to have a set of those, which I just refurbished them and cleaned them up. So everything's all done. All the work is done mechanically, electrically, body work. It's all done and dusted, which is really good. So I even got to doing some little bit of work. I cleaned up the back on it. So that's all done. I got some panels made. I made the panels for in there. So I got to put a speaker in there. Since I was working on the panel, I might as well fill the spot a bit better. So they just run the wires through there. It's no biggie. So I got the back painted. Well, I painted the back. So it's all good. So it's all nice and pretty. Black at the top and the grey on the bottom, just like it was. Well, that was the colour it was. So yeah, so I've got a number of little bits and pieces fixed on the back here, which is looking good. So I'm very happy with that. Good thing. So car wise, yeah, so I've got everything. So I've got all them things mounted up there, so they're good. And I've got all these cleaned up. I've done all the windows. So in here, yeah, she's very nice and clean in here. The dash is all good. I've refurbished a lot of all this. All the center consoles, all good. Everything works. So everything works, everything's here. And you see even all the lights even work. Look at that. So engine's running really nice. So I've got some really good fresh fuel in it now. Had to replace that LCD screen in there. Like I said last time, however, when they replaced that windscreen, for whatever reason, it cracked the LCD. I can't explain it, don't know how to explain it, but it did. So yeah, so she's running really nice. Starts first go every time. The only thing I've got to do is get the aircon regassed, but I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. But everything works. Fan's good. You can switch between face, screen, whatever, all that side of it works. If you want to put the heater on, all that switches over as well. Yeah, so like I said, the lights are all good, all working, they're all adjusted. Even all the indicators and hazards, all that stuff works. So wipers are all good to go now. I've redone the wipers. So everything's been refurbished and cleaned. So you'll see the door cards are all good. So I've got all them done. So they're all looking nice. I've redone all the windows and they all roll up and down very nice. Got this lock parts I needed up here, and I got the window switch, so they all work very nicely now, left and right side, so they all work nicely, so which is good. I'll turn that off so I don't fumigate myself in the shed. So anyway, so all the carpets are good. I've got the seat covers on the seats here. Headlining, I've cleaned it and I've refurbished all these and got the mirror mounted and all that. All the trim's been refurbished all the way around, so it's very nice new looking trim all the way around, all the way up the side. Seat belts are redone, so they are lovely. They slide in and out and rebound, no problems at all. So you see the back there from this angle, so she's good. All nice, painted, clean, nice and neat. So anything that needed fixing has been fixed. So she's a lovely bit of kit. And of course you've got to have the old squidgy steering cover on there. Yeah, so that's pretty well. Oh, and all the doors are adjusted now, which is good. So so that's about it for the car wise. That's about the update. Other than all the other updates I've already said, but basically it's a full car. It's ready to go. Everything works, everything's spot on, everything will meet roadworthy requirements. Tyres are good, brakes are good, so I've redone the brakes for it. Got all the brakes bled, so they're all safe and good to go. Steering, handbrakes all adjusted, so it's all good. Very, very happy with everything with the car. So anyway, so this one will be left be for a while. I'm just going to park this one in the driveway. I'm going to bring the yellow car in, like I said. So I've got a few minor bits and pieces to do on the yellow cars, but I'll start another video on that one as I do those few jobs. Yeah, so that's good. I'm happy days, happy days. So this, I was going to get it registered, but there's not much point because it's just going to sit in the driveway. I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to drive it at this stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it all done up and I'll get that wrap on. So moving forward, so once I'm going to have to collect a little bit of money aside. So I'm going to need a bit of money to do the next phase of this job. So this is basically where it's going to sit now. I'll go and get it registered at some stage in the coming months. So this will basically where it'll sit in this mode. I'll get it registered. So after that, I will get it wrapped. So just to show people what the wrap looks like. It's pretty out there, don't get me wrong. And this is where the favorite customization of the car will come into play. So since I'm going to keep it, I was contemplating selling it, but there's not much of a market for these. Even if it's at 99, there's not much market for them, so there's not worth selling it, even though it doesn't owe me much at all. So yeah, there's a colour, British Racing Green wrap. So that's some good quality 3M wrap. I've also got a really crazy looking front bonnet set up here, so that'll be a wrap on the front bonnet, which has actually got some decal sort of set up on it, just for a little bit of something different. So the things I've got to buy now, I'm going to get myself a V8 supercar front spoiler for this, just because I want to fatten up the front a little bit, and I'll do a little bit of do something with the lights just to give them a bit more shape. So I'm going to get some matte black wheels for it. Big wheels, not high. So I'll probably get 18-inch wheels. And I'm going to flare this old girl. So I'm going to put the next model up, as in AU plus wheels on it. So I've got some flares. So like I said, it's out there. That's what I said. All this stuff is all bolt-on. And these flares bloody fit perfectly. They absolutely fit perfectly. Minor trimming, but those things work great, front and rear. So I'm putting flares on this girl. And they actually fit amazingly well. And that means I don't need to lower the car, because once I put wheels on it, I don't need to, because there's heaps of room, see? So that'll be flares with the wrap once I find the right wheels. I've got to find some decent wheels for it first, which may take a while. So basically I'm going to run around 18-inch on it, probably 9-inch front and 10-inch rear, plus some 295s, 35 rears, big bat tyres, but that's what these panel vans need, big bat. So I'm going to it's going to have a drop tank look in the back, so I'm not actually going to have a tank, but I'm going to actually make some stainless steel to actually reflect a drop tank right there. So I'm going to get some side skirts as well. So all the way along the side, I'm going to get some really wild looking side skirts in there just to fatten it up, go with the flares. I'll blend in with the flares and blend in with the wheels. So the wheels will be matte black. No matter what wheels I get, they're going to be matte black. So that'll be pretty wild, don't get me wrong. And like I said, I'm not worried about it's just a toy, really. It's just a toy. So, you know, it's not going to be driven daily or anything silly like that. So the last job that I'll be doing during that is I'm gonna do something a little bit outside the box. I'm gonna whack myself a turbo in here. Yeah, a nice little spot right there. So there's a really nice spot right there where a turbo can fit. So I'm gonna put a turbo in there. And put this thing as a turbo. So put watered air intercooler setup. There's enough room under there to put a watered air intercooler. And run some intake pipe, all lines, all that. Plenty of room to chuck something in there. So that's just, oh God, that was loud. So that was just for a bit of fun, and that will be for a bit of fun, nothing more. So obviously that's going to be hot, so I'm going to have to build some really nice heat protection gear in there, because obviously there's a fuel tank right there, so I'm going to build that very well. I'm going to make a really decent high spec cover for that, so that'll be a little bit of work. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit of budget too. I was going to put a turbo underneath here because there's so much room under there, but no, I don't want to do that. I want to do something different. So yeah, so that'll be my task. I'm going to get that built. So obviously it's going to take a little bit of money, but I'm going to buy a turbo, watered air intercooler. And obviously to do the hot side of it, I'm going to need a set of extractors coming down into the turbo and then out again. So it's going to be a little bit of work and a little bit of time, a little bit of expense as well. Not excessive. I'll do whatever I can myself, as always. So yeah, no, that's the plans. That's the plans for the old girl. So that, like I said, that's going to take a while. That's going to take a while. I would say at least 6 months to find some wheels, get some money together to buy the turbo parts, water to air intercooler. The reason it's a water to air, instead of running pipe work way up the front to an air to air intercooler, I'm going to just put a water to air. There's heaps of room where on these underneath there's actually a whole massive where the second exhaust goes on the old original chassis ones, where the old XD era E had the V8s. So lots of room under there for a second exhaust. So that's where I'm just going to put the watered air intercooler, so a couple of underfloor fans on it, and that way I can just run a heat exchanger right in there, right next to the turbo. But of course I'll put some heat barriers and all that stuff in there, and then I can just run the intake straight down, under, and into the engine bay. Very easy, nice and quick, and there's plenty of room to run an intake pipe down there. Exhaust wise, it's just in and out. It's very simple. The actual design of the turbo is actually very simple setup, because the exhaust is on this side. Exhaust just comes straight under, and then it just drops up there through the turbo, through there, and then just carries on over the dip and out. So really easy. So anyway, so I'll be collecting some, putting some budgets together, saving a bit of money, so I can get all that work done. So it'll be cool. It'll be wild out there. Don't get me wrong. Not everyone's taste, but like, I mean, it's a toy. It really is. It's just for fun. Everything's bolt on. The wrap is just stick on, of course. The turbo is just a bolt on. You're not modifying the engine. You're just going to do a slight tune on it. I'm not going to run big PSI or anything, maybe 6 to 8 PSI, just for fun, not for power, just for fun. It's going to be interesting having a turbo spinning right behind your ear. So obviously I'm going to have to really think about the safety side of it and make sure there's absolutely no chance of exhaust leaks or anything silly like that. So I will do a fair bit of work on that. Don't worry about that. Yeah, so it'll be cool. It'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm actually looking forward to that part of it. So anyway, that's it for this car. That'll be it. We'll come back to it in a number of months' time. Once I start getting the parts together. I'm not doing big budget on this. None of this stuff's going to be big budgets. It's all going to be cheap Chinese stuff, just to do the job. I'm not worried about it, that side of it. Like I said, it's not for performance. It's just for a bit of fun. So anyway, so that's it. Say goodbye to this old girl for a while, and that'll be her done. So I'll come back to it once I get some more work on it. And depending on how much work it will be to put all that together, I'll do it all myself. Obviously the exhaust, I can't do it. I don't have that welding skill. Anyway, so there you go. That's her done. It's a full car. It's one nice looking XH2 1999 model panel van. I reckon no more than a bloody handful of these are left, if that. So very rare, very unique, and it's all pretty well original. Well, it is original, essentially, other than those bloody wheels. Everything else is as per factory, so which is good. It's a very good basis. It's a very good starting point to have all that. So very happy with it. Okay, no worries. Well, I'll sign off, and I'll start a new video series on the yellow car in the coming days. So I'll run through what I'm going to do to that yellow car. That's the Turbo XE. So I've got a few tidy up jobs to do on that. That's purely because I've owned it for nearly 12 years now. So normal maintenance routine stuff. Righto. Anyway, signing this off.